Hello and welcome to another episode on Souq Exclusive. My name is Shadi Uwe and with me today on the show is Dr. Abell Minna. He is the Registrar of the Chartered Institute of Human Resources and Strategic Management. It's a pleasure having you today, sir.
You're welcome.
The Institute, sir. Can we know the origin of the Institute?
Okay, thank you very much for having me on this program. Yeah, Chartered Institute of Human Resources and Strategic Management is a professional institute that came into being as a result of God's revelation. Yes, I have few people know about it. I have told people how the institute came into being. But I think I will elaborate it on this program.
Yes, please do.
I was driving, it's going to be a story. I was driving from, I normally park in a church. Of course, I'm not a pastor, so take note of that. I was driving from the church because I normally park in a church. So as I was driving out of the church, something said to me, Human Resource and Strategic Management.
What year was this?
That was 2013.
2013.
And when he said that, I didn't really. He repeated it twice. It was around that kind of 6:30 o'clock. 6:30 in the morning. So I called my friend around 7 o'clock, who is in CAC. And I told him, I said, look. He said, I should come. I went to him. And that's the beginning. He made a search, and he found out that the search was positive. The name was not there. So we started. And then the process of the registration, we went through Federal Minister of Justice, Federal Minister of Education, and CAC. And that is the beginning of the Chartered Institute of Human Resources and Strategic Management.
That's a nice one.
You're welcome.
So how does it contribute to the development of human capital in Nigeria?
Yes, the Chartered Institute of Human Resources and Strategic Management have contributed in so many areas as regards to professionalism and certifications, as regards to our training, and as regards to policy formulations and all that, and as in order to also regulate the professionals in the fields. Such trainings revolve around attitude and character management in workplace, because most of the thing that we really find we had issues with is about personal relationship with the boss and the boss and the subordinates. So we're looking at the character of people who work in an organization. How do they really relate? So that also takes us to management of subordinate and subordination, which of course one of the courses that we also treat. I don't want to mention some government establishments where you have the hierarchy, the boss, but the subordinates, do not really want to, want to listen to the advice or obey the superior. So in this training, we have been able to train some government established staffs in order for them to be able to, obey their superior. So that's some of the some areas where we have contributed. We have also contributed in terms of policy formulation. Like the last induction that we did, the topic was strategic management in human resources management in public formulations. And you can see that public formulations is revolved around what we have today, because there's no government or organization that will formulate a policy that will be detrimental to itself. So what we do, we advise governments and public sector, private sector, in public policy formulations in order to have a smooth running of the system.
So I want to take you back to the first question.
Okay.
You said that was revelation. Are you a Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian, but the word Christian, I don't really want to dabble into that, because the word Christian has been overloaded by a lot of activities and all that. Because if I say I'm a Christian, yes, by accepting Christ, yes, but I am the activity, the workings of Christ. Most of us who are called Christians, even the pastors, And they are not Christ-like. They are not like Christ-like. So yes, I'm a Christian because it is a generally norm that once you go to church, you are a Christian. But virtually 95% of people who go to church, they are not Christians.
Okay, so what role does the Institute play in promoting strategic management practices in the corporate world?
Yes, the role we play is we play advisory roles to organizations and to organizations, both public and private organizations. We play advisory roles because nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. So most of organizations comes in either during our induction, during our training and all that, and they seek our advice, and we advise them that these policies that these policies that you are formulating is not going to go well. Like for instance, the present minimum wage. I have kicked against minimum wage.
Why?
Because it is not the driving force of any economy. It will not impact positively to the life of people.
What's the driving force?
The driving force is price regulation, productivity. Because if you increase price, for instance, the salary has been increased. But the ordinary woman in the market does not know that the percentage of how much it has been increased to. So they will increase their price alongside that. So the things that they are selling for 1 naira before, they might sell for 5 naira, but which does not commensurate with the level of the the increment of salary. So increment of salary, I have over time kicked against it, and up to today I'm still kicking against it.
You're saying that the government needs to do more.
They do more than increasing of salary. Now let us look at in the 60s and the 70s and the late 80s and all that. How much was the salary? People were able to build houses.
True.
Now the thing that contributes to this factor is our exchange rates, because 95% of the things that we eat in this country are imported. So the government need to do more on that than to increase salary. So they need to do more on that, on productivity. There are farmlands. The government can, because of the insecurity, before now there was no shortage of food, and the price of food were not as high as it, but because of the insecurity, people can no longer go to farm.
But we make it feel like it's only in the northern part where the insecurity is bad.
No. I want you to know about on that. This is not. Even I'm from Delta State. There are my people who have gone, who have been kidnapped, have been raped in the villages, even in the bush. When they went to farm, they raped them and all that. So fear has even come. They don't even go to farm anymore.
So that means that if there's positive security level in Nigeria, it means
it is a known fact. It is a known fact all over. Before now, in the early 60s, I grew up in the village, in a small town, in a small village. I went to the farm. After school, we go to the farm. We call our friends together, and then we go to his mother's farm. The next week or so, we go to our mother's farm. That's what we do. We're doing that.
But now that you're in Lagos, do you farm here?
I don't farm here, but of course I have a farm in the village. But people no longer, they can't go there because of the security. And of course, when you talk about Lagos, where's a farmland that you can farm apart from Ikorodu and all that, and some part of Ekpe and all that, Alagbado and all that. That's where you can farm. But how many people are ready? Because the facility for the farming is not also there. So the problem is the issue of productivity. Once we get it right, it's the system of demand and supply. When the demand is higher than the supply, there's no way that the price will not go high. Let us look at the bus conductors. When people are in the bus stop, they see a crowd of people. They will apply the law of supply and demand. But they won't understand that is what they are applying. They will just a fare that was 10 naira before, they can increase it to 20 naira, 30 naira. Because they have seen that there's so much crowd in that. Yes. So they will increase it. But of course, they don't know that they are applying the principle of demand and supply. So the thing is that once there is sufficient food, there's going to be, drastic reduction of price of goods. Coupled with the increase of fuel presently, what do you think about? That's a whole lot. So now, when we talk about the policy, it is giving somebody 10 naira and you're giving somebody 10 naira with your left hand, and you are collecting it with 30 naira from your right hand. That is what it is.
So the situation gets worse.
It gets worse. That is what it is presently.
Okay, so you've talked about the trainings that you do in the institute. Those for both individuals, organizations, and then the private sector. So, what is the impact in revenue generation in the economy in Nigeria of the institute?
Yes, it has a lot of impacts. So many impacts, a lot of impacts. Now you have time factor, which of course is one of the major things. Time. The richest people in the world are people who manage their time properly, not an idle person. So our trading has been able to revolve around, time, management of time, management of resources, management of human capital developments. So it has positive impact on every organization over as a result of our training.
Can you tell us about the specific skills that you provide here?
Yes, like I said, the skills we provide, we provide training for certifications and professional membership. Now we have different categories of professional membership. We have the graduate membership, we have the associate membership, we have the full membership, we have the fellow membership, we also have the doctorate fellowship. So these are the specific training that we train for different categories of membership. Now we also do training for leadership role, those who are aspiring for leadership role. We also do training for those who are, wants to become a consultant. We do training for those who wants to become a consultant, and so many trainings like that.
Okay, so you talked about graduate membership. Now, in this digital age where, people would say that you do not need to be in the four walls to get knowledge. Do I have to be a graduate to have a certification?
No, now the graduate membership, yes. Let me give you the different, as I've mentioned, the different categories of membership. There are different categories of, different categories of qualifications that one needs to have before you can apply. Now, the graduate membership, with a school start, we don't have a program for any school starts. For now. We don't have a program for, our membership is not for school starts. But we can also consider a school cert holder who has worked in an HR department or who has worked in an organization for over a period of time. We can consider that. Do you know what? Somebody that have a BSc or a master's degree in a particular field and is employed in an organization where a school cert has been working for 10-20 years, that person that has a school cert will train the person that has a BSc or a master's degree on that field, in spite of the fact he has a master's or a BSc degree on that field. The person that has experience. So experience is, so we consider experience as part of the fact that he does not have a degree, it can be considered. But that depends on the numbers of years that he has worked as an HR person or he has worked in administrative capacity. Because what we do is all about administrative factor.
Okay. Like you said earlier, you said that you provide, specific trainings for certain. So, as a business person, you have some certain businessmen that have never seen the four walls of a school, but in their business sector, they have the experience. Do you offer trainings for people like that? Can you? Yes,
we do training for such people. Now, in the intro, I remember in the beginning, I mentioned of training, some courses that we do, like attitude and character management. Now, someone who has not gone to school, he might not have the ability to manage his staff. Then we train such person in attitude and character management. He has also his own personal attitude, and his employees also have a character. So in that training, he will be able to manage the staff that he has, in spite of the fact, of course, university does not even teach some of these courses, because the courses we are teaching are practical and professional courses. So university does not teach that. So what we do for such people who do not go to universities or have the knowledge of 4 walls of education, we train them on that specific. We also train them on skill and career development. They need to move from one level of life to another. So we also teach them on how they can manage their business. One of the problems we have in this world is about management. Knowing what they want, knowing the staff, how they can employ the staff, which is recruitment and selection process, knowing what training is fit for a particular person, what salary structure should they apply? These are some of the things that we train those who do not go to the force of, or even those who even went because they even have a master's, even PhD. Some of them are not knowledgeable about these areas of recruitment and selection, training and development. What again now? And motivation and compensations and all that. So we train them on that.
Okay. So how would you? This is a personal question. So how would others, describe your management style?
We have our management styles. There's no organization that I have a specific, because management style, revolve around is dynamic. Is dynamic. So I want to leave it there, so that yes.
Okay. So how do you foster a positive work culture, in the institute?
Interpersonal relationship. Listening. A good leader must listen. That is one of the attributes of a good leader. You must listen to your subordinates. Listen to suggestions and all that, and then have interpersonal relationship. You know why I said the other time, I said salary is not really the issue of people. There are people that are going to pay 5,000 naira and they'll be happy to come to the office every day. Do you know why? Because they have interpersonal relationship with the boss. Not that aspect of when those negative aspects, the positive aspect, when they come, they have issues, they speak with the boss will be able to tell them, oh, no, do it this way. Their personal issues, they discuss. Like one of my staff came in this morning and I saw her face and I asked, are you okay? If there's anything that you want us to discuss, and of course that's what I've been doing.
And that's one of the things that most bosses
don't do. Yes.
They feel like, because they pay you a salary,
they are servants.
Yes.
And once a boss begin to look at their subordinate as a servant, that's where the issue is. I have talked about it over time in some areas too, in some fora too. I have discussed that. The modern day word as HR is the modern day of managing people. We no longer see human being as tools. We no longer see human being as what again now? How do I call it? Okay, we see human being as an asset, not a tool, not a machine. It was in the eras of those colonial masters and all that, and of course some people are still practicing that medieval method of managing people. But the present HR, which of course we practice, is seeing people as an asset, because if you see person as an asset, now he add value. And then the person you also see you has the projection that I have a stake. When your staff does not have a stake in your organization, the tendency for him to do a lot of things and go away is there.
In fact, they're still saying that the HR is not your friend. You heard about that?
The HR?
Yes. Not your friend.
No, yes. Do you know why? Yes, it is not your friend, but it is your friend. Because we want to put the right peg in the right hole. And in our system, this favoritism, criticism, is my brother, is my friend. Please can we? This is Nigeria.
Our culture plays a lot.
Yes.
Whatever we do, even in the corporate world.
Yeah.
So when we talk about favoritism, nepotism, is this something that we can eradicate totally? Considering
even in the modern, even in the advanced world, it cannot be eradicated outrightly. The only thing that it can be minimized. It can be minimized. I don't want to mention names of companies. You see some companies like the banks. They employ anybody from any organization, from any academic, whether you read accounting, you read finance, you read geography, you read Yoruba, you read Igbo, they will employ you because they have a culture of training people to fit into their system of operation. So that is their culture. Now, in that process, because they know that if they train this person, it will also be better off. Now, a little bit of favoritism comes in. A little bit of I know him, I know you. Please give the person. But in that situation, that does not mean that yes, if the person is employed in that area capacity, he will be trained, and based on that, it can be. But in a situation where the management organized, because I know some of organizations, they don't train their staff. They normally get people who have been trained for somewhere, and then So in such cases, they employ based on recommendation. So it cannot be totally eradicated, but it can be minimized. Minimized in the sense that putting the right peg in the right hole, and then giving some incentive and all that.
And talking about career advancement, how does certification in this institute guarantee that?
Thank you very much for that question. I don't want to, like I always say, that I don't want to. Yes, yes, because presently the federal government came in to say that every human resource person in the category of level should be certified. The federal government, okay, and every administrative staff for a particular level, they should be certified in order for them to be promoted and all that. And of course, that has helped a lot of our members through our certification to get promoted, even apart from the what's it called, the public sector, the private sector. We have top managers, directors who are members, who have elevated, who our certifications have elevated, even in Canada, even in US, across the world. People come do our program and travel out, and then they've come. This morning I just got an email from US that our the certification should be verified, whether it emanated from us, because the person want to get a job, want to be employed, and they want to find out that the certification that is presenting, is it genuine, does it emanate from us? So you can see that it has helped thousands of people in getting promotion, getting job, and all that.
So this means that you're saying that with the certification here in Nigeria,
it is,
you can use it is universal.
Yeah, you can. Yes, global. You can use it global. And then the certificate is verifiable online.
Okay. So in this age where it's digital, is it compulsory to come to the institute? Of course,
we don't have physical class. We have this office for those who want to come to the office to make physical verification and findings. Ordinarily, we don't really need office.
Your class is online.
Our classes are online. Registrations are online. We have what we call self-examine assessment questions. Is online. So our registration is online. Our training is online.
Has this always been the case?
No. Yes, I will tell you. It manifests. It was during the COVID era. And let me also tell you that when you have interpersonal relationship with your staff, they bring viable suggestions. It was one of my staff. Yes, she's no longer with us. That suggested that we've been doing physical class, and now that there's no physical class, why don't we look at?
Because people are busy.
Yes. So why don't we look at this online training, and we will start? Do you know that when we started it, as at that time, people were bored at home, and they were looking for something to keep them busy, and we keyed into that, and of course it was marvelous. And since that time we don't have physical class. Now why we don't also have physical class? Because some people are in Kano. We could have 1 or 2 people who register in Kano, for instance, and then 5 in Kaduna, 6 in Port Harcourt. We cannot bring those people into one fold. Though we have coordinators across the nation, we have coordinators who does registration and all that. But for the class, it is online. As I speak to you, they are online. They are in class. And then the uniqueness of this class is that you can access your class once you have the code. Once you make your payment, you have your code. You can access the class at any given time. It is not everybody will be in this. If you want to access your class by 1 o'clock, 1 a.m., you can wake up and start enjoying the class. If you have a question, you put it on the web. You put it on that question. The person in charge will respond to you.
So it's more like a 24 hours.
Yes, 24 hours.
Is it time bound?
It is not. They're not really time bound, because even after the induction, you can continuously enjoy the class. But the only thing that differ is that once you feel you can only access the next class when you have finished the first class. And then after the first mode of that class, it will take 2 days for you to digest the first one, because we won't give you the privilege of going on through the classes at once, and then you will lose track. So after 2 days, you will now go to the next module, so that 2 days interval will enable you to digest and review what you have done before you go to the next module. So that is how it works.
Okay, so you have the difference within your institute and then another institute that is similar to yours. I want to know. What's the difference?
Yes, the difference. One, let me categorically say here that there are two factors or 2 principles, or 2 disciplines that drives every organizational success, which is human resources and strategic management. I will want to use what you have in your hand and your phone as a case study. How many SIM does your phone have?
One.
How can is it one SIM?
Yes.
How many SIM do your own phone have? You have two.
You have answers that have two.
Yes, 95% of assets today they have to particularly the Android, except you. But your phone has a provision for two. You choose to have one.
Yes, on one of the apps, WhatsApp, you can have two WhatsApp messages
on one phone. So what am I saying is that it's a professional body one, but with two discipline that drives organizational success. Like I said, human resources and strategic management are the two factors that drives any organizational success.
It goes beyond human resources.
It goes beyond human resources. So it's about human resources and strategic management. That's one of the uniqueness and then the driving force of the institute. Then the second part is that professional institutes are registered by, like I know, body established by government, which is the Federal Minister of Justice, Federal Minister of Education, and CAC. Now, these are verifiable online. I have not seen any professional institute that even the CIPM, their father, will respect them because they have been there 1962 or thereabouts. They also do the registration. Name Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered. The same thing. So if you go online and check, go to CAC and CAC website to check, you will see all their names there. So those who don't have their names and registration on CAC website, I think I wouldn't go there, but it is left for the CAC to look into that. Okay. Now, so that is one of the uniqueness, and then that's the second uniqueness. Then the second uniqueness is that the kind of things we offer, the kind of training that we offer is second to none. Yes, because in our training during our adoption, people confess that they have not seen induction like this. When they come for our induction, the things that we give, they get a plaque very big for the fellows, different things and quality things. So that is another uniqueness on our part. But the most important thing is value added. You cannot just give. We don't just give certificates. You must be able to defend the certificate we are issued to you. So you must be properly trained, get certified, and that's it.
So one of the things that you say that your institute, one of the factors that your institute promotes is networking.
Yes.
With professionals.
Yes, we have. As I speak, there are some even people. I will have even the last induction there would have added them to the. We have what we call the board of fellows. Now, this board of fellow are people who think for the institute. They also think for the institutes. And then the networking aspect is that in the group, some people have issues in their place of work. They put it in the platform and say that I have problem with my boss. How do I resolve it? 3 weeks ago, one of our members sent a message to the group and said that her boss sent a letter for review, that he should review something that somebody has written, that promotion and incentive. And the HR, her name was not included, and she has worked for 5 years. The condition is that they must have worked for 5 years before they can get a car loan and other incentive. So she now put it in the platform, and somebody responded that it was saying that she was not going to reply the boss. Somebody now told, no, reply your boss. Yes, reply your boss. It's your boss. And then he has confidence. That's what she did. And by the time the boss saw that clause, the man changed his mind. So you can see that there's network. And then also, there are some who don't have a job, who are our members. So when there's a job vacancy, they send to us, we put it in the platform, and then they also interact. Like that, there are some who have a job and they need a better place. They communicate within themselves, and then
okay, so if I get it correctly, you don't have to have a job.
No, you don't need, even the thing, it is even more, it is better off when you don't have a job.
So you get a certification.
You get it, yes. If you look at today's adverts, you will see that your BSc, Masters, PhD, and professional membership certificate added advantage. Let me give you a scenario. We have corpers that serve in our office. Now, one of our corpers went to serve in a particular company, and after the 1 year service, they wanted to retain some of the corpers, about 5 of them, and then they said they should present their certificate. And they presented all their certificate, and one of them had our graduate membership, because we normally give them 2 certificates, and we'll talk about that. We give them 2 certificates. We give them graduate membership certificate and proficiency certificate. The proficiency certificate contained the courses that we trained them on. So he presented those certificates, and the man said, "So when did you do this?" He said, "While I was here, I was doing the training online." Do you know that she was the only person that was employed? And we have so many cases like that. So even you have a job, you don't have a job, it's a win for you. Yes.
So upon your inauguration in July. Induction.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon. Congratulations once again.
Thank you. You're welcome.
What has changed?
What has changed?
Yes. Down. Is there anything different that you're doing now?
Yes. There are so many things that we are doing differently now.
Yes.
Now we're looking at publication of our journals, which we have not taught before. So we're working on that, and then we're also looking at our members being a factor. When I mean factor, contributing factor to the institute. Of course, we have not been giving them the privilege to advise before, like as it is now, though they normally are. But now we have make it a little bit broad for those who have one ideas, to add to the institute and all that, and that has worked marvelously. And also, we were not giving room for recommendation. We didn't really give them for recommendation, but now they make recommendation. They recommend people and all that. So a lot of things have changed positively for us and positively for them.
So your fees, are they your fees?
Yeah, there were fees. Yes, it's pocket friendly. Our fees are pocket.
I'm asking this because like we said, if you don't have a job, the certification actually propels you.
Yeah.
It gives you an edge.
Yeah.
For people like that, is there any sort of waiver?
No. We don't have waivers, but they are discounted, and then possible payment installment, so that it could give them a leverage for payments. So they can pay 2-3 times and all that. But payments must be completed before they get their certificates. So that's but of course the fees is very, very pocket friendly, considering what we offer. You see, what do we pay for in university? The university all of us went for. We pay for ignorance. The school that charges the highest school fees, they are paying for ignorance, and that's what we are paying for, and that's what people also pay for in the institutes. Ignorance. The people reading accounting, they are paying for ignorance because they don't know anything about accounting. So what they are going there, they learn it because they are ignorant of it. They pay for it. So they also pay for it here. So that's what but we allow them, we give them flexible mode of payment and flexible pattern of lectures as well.
Okay. So we're about to round off the show.
Okay.
Please tell us, what is your 5-year plan?
Yes, 5 years plan. From now, we want to see the institutes across the world. Not just seeing the institute, having strategic offices across the world. No, yes, presently the institute is known globally, but we don't have that
physical
presence in country. Yes, so we are looking to that. By God's grace, I'm going to Ghana in the next by next month as regard to the institute. Okay, so we're going to look for how we're going to establish. We have also went to Rwanda and some other countries to see that we have a physical presence in some of the African countries before the Western world and all that. And in the next 5 years, we see ourselves dominating in Nigeria, in Africa, and the world in general.
Okay, in this aspect, you think that the government has a role to play?
Yes, the government have a role to play in the sense that enabling policies. The policies that will favor professional institutes. I will talk more of the finance. The government should look at financing some of their staffs, because they also find it, because somebody receiving that amount of money, for instance, I don't want to mention, and he has family to plan for, school fees and all that, and at the end of the day, you are asking the person to come and pay a particular fee for certification, even if it's necessary, even if it's something that will promote. He want to say, I beg, So he want, but so if government can really fund, yes, and of course I understand that government do funding of training, yes, but for the certification aspect, that I don't. Yes, that's so the government should also look at it, and then the government should look at the salary structure, which I have said that it is not the best, that they should look at how prices of things can come down. Probably because the way what we are charging presently, it could be as
well coming down or permanently. Is one thing, but for it to be stabilized.
Yes, no. You see, no. No nation gets it right. Okay. United States, their economy was worse than this in the past. If you read the history of our U.S. economy, okay. So the thing is that the government should look at take drastic action as regard to productivity, farming, drastic one. And once those things, start materializing positively, the price of things will come down, and that will also have a repose effect on us. That our our fees will also come down. Even schools can also come down. Even rent can also come. Like this place, we pay a lot of money. There's no offices in Ikeja that is less than 2 million naira. Yes, fairly you can get 1.2, 1.5, 1.3 fair. But nothing less than 2 million and all that. So if things can come down, this will also affect our charging. We also reduce our fees as well. So
like people say that Nigeria seems not to have a systematic growth because the government is in a position today, another comes in the next 4 years or in 8 years, and then they change policies.
I would have even mentioned that about I do a training for succession planning. We do training for those who are retired. We call it retirement psychology. We also do training for work-life balance. We do training on what again? Okay, let me talk about the succession plan, which of course I've talked and written about it. Now we have issues even in our organization, apart from the government. Even in the public sector, in the private sector, your immediate boss will not want you to move from where you are to another place. So when he wants to leave, he will look for somebody. Before he leaves, he will look for somebody to come and replace it. Except the father, the son, the daughter business, like what just happened in one of the banks. I don't want to mention. Like what also happened in one of the churches that we know, that the son took over. From the mother to the father, from the father to the son.
When people say that.
So those are succession plan, which of course they have. But of course, how are they truly prepared for that? Succession plan require prepared. There's one article I wrote. How prepared are you for the future? If somebody has contested 4 times, then he should be able to know that when I step into this position, these are the things I want to do. But it took him more than 6 to 7 months to appoint ministers.
So you said something about life being dynamic.
Yes.
Government style being dynamic.
Yes.
Now, if you say because someone has contested 4 or 5 times, you know that the people he meets there, policies would have changed in those 5 years, 4 years, tenure that has passed.
Yes.
So you might get there and then it's a whole.
No, governance is a continuum. Okay. The major crisis that we have is infrastructure, electricity, education, insecurity. These are the key factors. So any government, look at what happened in the US, for instance. Look at Britain, for instance. Germany, another part of the world. When they come, they don't stop the project that somebody has done before. So government is a continuum. It's a continuous thing. So when you are coming in, not because it's not from one particular party, and then this person is because it's not from the party, you want to, no. So when I said that somebody who let's look at somebody you have been preparing to go to university, and you have written your JAM 4 times, and at the 4th time you got admission. What is expected of you? The expectation is that you should do well. You will not go there and gallivant because you took a while, but you have also planned for it. That is why succession plan does not hold in this part of the country. Look at the succession plan they have. Rivers State, for instance, it's a tug of war between the former governor and the I'm sorry that we're talking politics. It's a tug of war. So how does that, that second, how would it affect the people? It's going to affect the people negatively. It's going to affect the people, the state negatively, because the man will be thinking of how to survive in the governance. Then he will be thinking of how to, and all that. Look at what also happened in Edo. So these are some of the things that succession plan in Africa.
Like you said, I want to agree with what you said about policies. So the policies is what drives
every economy.
And then before we go, you talked about books.
Books.
Right? Yes.
Yes.
You're right. How many books have you read?
Yes, I have written some, but they are not published. But I have written, apart from books, I'm a poet. Yes. I will mention some of the poems that I have written. I wrote for Fela.
Really?
Yes.
Where can we find these things?
Yes, I will send them. I wrote for Fela. I wrote for late Fela. I wrote for this man, one elderly man. I call him the grey hair of wisdom from the east. No, not Chinachebe. No, I forgot him. So I wrote for Fela. I also wrote for my father, my late father. I call him. I told it Minna and the Ivory Horn. Okay. I also wrote for Africa. Come Back Home Africa. Rejoice Africa. Arise Africa. During the Liberian War, let's not talk about that. During the Liberian War, because I was in Liberia during the Liberian War, so I wrote what is called Arise Africa, because we are looking at the Western world manipulating Africa, to our own detriment, using Africa to fight against ourselves. So I wrote about it. I wrote about Come Back Home Africa. I look at people in diaspora. They should come back, because if you go to US, just take the statistics of Nigerians, Africans in US doing well. You see they are more doing well in health, in education, all that. Why not come back home? But of course, presently they cannot come home because of the insecurity. One man came from Benin. He came from US or UK, so rich, he was kidnapped and killed. So when people hear of these ones, they don't want to come back home. Of course, we still encourage them to come back home. So I wrote about come back home. I wrote the evil birds. I also wrote the theater of war during the Abacha time. I wrote the theater of war because they were killing and all that. So I wrote theater of war. I have so many of them like that.
Okay. So we have a program where we say that good Nigeria must be good. Any last words?
Yes, Nigeria must be good. Nigeria must be good. But for Nigeria to be good, it must start from the head. What is killing this nation is corruption. For Nigeria to be good, it must start from the head. If you see fish that is rotten, fish starts rotting from the head and not from the tail. We are the tail. So if Nigeria to be good, what I mean is yes, one of the APC shifter recently said. He said the people that will change this nation they are not born yet. That gives a very, very great impression of the system, because you understand the system. So for Nigeria to be great, our mindsets, the quick rich syndrome, because we all have it. A child of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 3 days ago, one of my students, some people call it students, but that's send a video to me that my daughter, my son tablet just got bad, so and I felt that he has spoiled so many. I went to buy him an iPhone. A child of 1 year something, so that he can be watching cartoon. iPhone. So tell me, when that child grows up, because the economy is not stable, and by the time the child grows up and the economy has been bastardized and all that, and he cannot make that responsibility, what do you think that child will do? So when the government should look into them, that if we have to tighten our bed, they should also tighten their bed first. Nigerians are the most enduring people, most patient people in the world, because most of the things that are happening here, if it happen in another nation, they won't take it. One, it is a self-sustaining economy. If I believe that tomorrow if I go to market I will sell and get food, I won't bother what happened next to, I don't know whether the government is existing or not. Nigerian people does not look at whether government is existing. Just give them the right thing. They go to the market, they sell their food, they eat. That's what they want. So the government should look at that for Nigeria to be great. Then for Nigeria to be great, our educational level, our educational sector should be looked into properly.
Do you think what they're doing is not enough?
It is not enough.
We're churning out. Someone said once.
I say we partner with NY. We partner with we partner. Yeah, we partner with NYC, and you turn up a lot of people every year. Every 2, 3, 6, 4 months, you turn up people and there's no job. They should look at how they can introduce skill, technical skill into it. It is not this theory. I read finance. I taught in LASO and as external system, but I never taught finance.
It's actually funny that the people with technical skills are making more money than those in the office.
Yes. So the technical aspect, forget the federal government does not need to build technical universities, technical schools. No. The structures are already there. All you need, convert some classes, some facilities you have there to technical school. What is happening in Japan? It is China and Japan and India. They are taking over. They don't talk about book. They talk about practical. So let them talk about practical. Everybody want to work in an office. It is because the federal made provision for an office. Federal government made provision for everybody to work in an office.
No, but even the culture itself. If you back in the day when you said, oh, you were a plumber, or you were the son, or you were someone who sells food by the roadside, people would look down on you. But we have now seen that the post-COVID pandemic, things have changed.
Yes. I watched a video this morning about
it. Seems that we're learning from those people.
Yes, I watched a video this morning. That brings me to and let me answer that question. Through this video I watched. A lady in Germany, and Facebook thing is universal.
Yes.
She drives bus. She's a commercial bus driver. But people in Nigeria are mocking her that a bus driver.
And they earn a lot of money.
She now begin to explain the process of her becoming a bus driver, the license. And then she said that her license is equivalent to license of a pilot. Yes, because of the process that she would have paid almost 30-something million naira, but she got it on a scholarship for a bus driver. You understand it? So, like you said, that our mentality, our belief, data some people from going to skills. I'll use myself as an example. When I was not educated, I went to university very late. Even my secondary school, I went to secondary school very late. But when I started, people began to look at, what is this man want to do now? But today, because I sum up the courage that this is what I want to do, I taught some of my friends who were mocking at me in LASO. So you can see that. So it is first determination, what you want for. Then the government should look at having a technical schools, universities all across the universities. You have your University of Agriculture. Go there, the University of Agriculture, they are teaching elect. What I have a friend who graduated from one of the universities University of Agriculture. They teach, what does elect got to do with the University of Agriculture? So these are the policies that the government should strategically look at and put the right people in place and put the right structure in place, and you will see that the economy will drive on its own.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abell. It was lovely speaking with you. Insightful points that you have said. We'd love to have you again on your episode, if you permit.
I'm very, very much available if the time permits. If I have the time, I'll be gladly grant your request. Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of the interview with Dr. Abell Minna. And he is a poet, like he said. And then one last word, like he told you, you do not have to be, a big business person, before you come to the institute. You can come here, make inquiries, and then you take it up from there. It's been a lovely one. So, my name is Shadi.